Hi, everyone. So I'm excited today to talk to you a bit about invasive insects, actually. First, you've probably heard of these things before, so you can raise your hand if you've heard of invasive insects. Great. Have you ever heard of the invasive insect problem going away? Right. So this is $1 billion problem to people who are growing crops, to people that care about our forests. We have both of those in New Hampshire. We have both of those things throughout our nation. What do we do about that problem? Kind of two things. One thing we can do is set traps and hope that those invasive bugs fall in. Second thing we can do is conduct aerial surveys, actually fly a plane over forests, over crops, and just look down and hope that you see damage. And I say hope in kind of quotations there. That's not particularly effective, and you can imagine that it's reactive, that there's already an extensive problem. That's the only time you can see it, so any mitigation effort is effectively null. It's expensive, it's time intensive, it's resource in the sense you need to be an expert to fly that plane to find those bugs. I wanted to find a better way, and that's really where this talk starts. Bats, it turns out. Bat guano, I say bat poop, but guano sounds better. Bats go out, they have a sort of an appetite for insects. And the idea here is that the insects can do a much, much better job than any trap could ever do at going out and sampling what insects are in the community. They do this every night. So what I did was I leveraged the fact that poop's free. So we went out at 11 different sites throughout the summer. Every week at every one of those sites, we collected guano. This is where the molecular biology comes in. Every individual piece of guano you take and you extract the DNA out, but I'm just caring about the insect DNA that's there. The next trick is to isolate just the insect DNA. The third trick is to sequence all of that insect DNA so that in every individual piece of guano where you know it came from and you know when it came from, you can tell every insect that's in there. The slide you see up on the board represents not all the 1,200 pieces of bat poop I've dealt with, but just 40. And there's over 100 insect species that are up there. So you can imagine I have more work to do and there's a bigger story even to tell. 3 questions. 1, do they eat a lot of different insects? Yes. Second question, do they eat those invasive insects that we're worried about? Yeah, actually, we found about 24 different insect problems, and they're in there. The third question, the thing that often actually gets lost in this, and I think this is the most powerful thing, invasive insects, that's not a problem that's going away, and we don't know which ones are coming. Bats don't care. And it turns out that part of the discovery in here is that we found a pine beetle that's from the Pacific Northwest that nobody knew was here. It's not even on the list. You're not even looking for it. But the bats found it, the bats ate it, and fortunately donated it to us. And we can do something about it immediately. You don't have to wait for that forest fire effectively to happen. You can capture it and find it immediately and solve the problem. So guano, a little bit of molecular biology, and a little bit of luck, and you can solve a very, very expensive and costly issue. Thank you.